Afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it still is. Good afternoon, everyone. It's early. This meeting of the City University of New York's Board of Trustees is now called to order. Everyone should take a moment to mute their cell phones. CUNY TV is transmitting the public sessions of this meeting live on cable channel 75. The meeting is also being webcast live at www.cuny.edu/livestream and the CUNY Board of Trustees website. On May 8th, 2023, the Board of Trustees convened an in-person Queensborough and public hearing at LaGuardia Community College. 81 individuals registered to speak, 55 in person and 26 remote. 42 people attended in person while 12 people signed in to testify remotely. College had some technical difficulties and the remote speakers were not able to testify, but were then asked to submit their testimony. 45 people submitted their written testimonies, which as always have been shared with the board and the chancellery, as well as posted to the trustees' website. Most speakers were members of the PSC, who opposed the university's savings initiative, which includes cuts to adjuncts and the interruption of faculty searches as a result of the reinstitution of the Vacancy Review Board. Members spoke about the lack of resources for colleges, including student access to mental health, infrastructure issues, cuts to college libraries resulting in reduced hours, and the closing of the John Jay Theater Department. Several students testified about their positive experiences at CUNY also. Trustees have been busy since we last met. There are currently 3 presidential searches being conducted, and again, let me thank my fellow trustees who are devoting their time and energy for this very important responsibility. And again, thank you all. It is the leaders of our institutions. It's probably the greatest thing that we can do as far as our involvement in this. So again, thank you to all of you. Each and every one of you over a period of time has dedicated and invested your time in the future of CUNY, not just at board meetings, but in the searches. So thank you all again. Trustee Vivolo, who joined the board during the pandemic, has been busy this month with tours of several campuses with many more planned. Additionally, Vice Chair Sandra Wilkin and I will be participating in the upcoming University Supplier Diversity Conference on May 24th, which is always an incredible opportunity for MWBEs, SDVOBs, and small business contractors to learn how to do business with the university, network with decision makers from the colleges and other agencies, and meet other consultants and contractors. And let me thank the Chancellor and his team for the work that they do on that conference. Last month, I had the privilege of speaking at and participating in the Association of Governing Boards National Conference on Trusteeship and Board Professionals Conference, where our very own board professional, the Secretary to the Board, Gail Horowitz, presented on the work we undertook on restructuring our committees as well as flipped orientations. Finally, I know I speak for all of my colleagues on the board when I say they're very excited to participate in the upcoming commencement season. We can't wait to see all the graduates. We're proud of them and all of their accomplishments, and there is no more exciting a part of the year than commencement. This evening, we have the privilege of hearing from some of our students at our community colleges and a very special surprise guest. We will turn to Vice Chancellor Denise Maybank to introduce the student presenters joining us today.
Thank you. And this evening, we're going to be privileged with a focus on our community colleges, on the impact, the influence, and the world-changing nature of those who attend community colleges at CUNY. But before we get to that presentation by our students from BMCC and Queensborough, we have a special presenter, known to many of you, who was influenced by a program at Kingsborough Community College when he was a mere high school student. And he came through and was a leader at CUNY. On Friday, he had the privilege of graduating from the CUNY School of Law. And I present to you former student trustee Corey Provost.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Chairman, Chancellor, members of the board and the Chancellery. It's definitely an honor to just be back at this table, seeing some very familiar faces, distant and near. I am just humbled my experience through the now 20 years that I've had going back and forth with CUNY, from the days where I first entered and stepped foot at Kingsborough Community College, taking that, I can't remember the course at this point, but it was just a world of a difference from where I was. As a young man, I grew up in the Ocean Hill, Brownsville section of New York. And I was able to navigate some pitfalls that caught so many individuals from my community, and never had the opportunities that I did. I was very, very fortunate, and I was fortunate because I had a teacher that saw something in me that I didn't. He was a Brooklyn College graduate, just maybe less than 10 years my senior. But he saw something in me at that time and brought me to the campus and showed me around, showed me what student life was like in an urban-centered university. He exposed me to something that just really transformed my life. So when I went on to go to Brooklyn College and enroll, and immediately got involved in student government, and then excelled there and got my bachelor's, then I went on to get my master's. And it was that point where I was elected as the chairperson for the University Student Senate, and served on this board. And again, another just tremendously life-changing experience. And a glutton for punishment, as some can say, I decided to go back some years later to go to law school. Now with 2 kids, a family, and the whole world of responsibilities. And I enrolled at CUNY School of Law's evening program. And the last 4 years have been truly, truly remarkable. Challenging nonetheless, with COVID, remote classes, and the transitions and changes at the law school. But I am, again, just elated and excited to have been a part of this university for as long as I have been. And my kids have already been on so many other college campuses. I got them some gear, too. So again, I'm truly, truly appreciative of all the work that you all around this table and those that came before you put in. I remember when I was a trustee, I believe Chancellor was the president of Hostess Community College at the time. So just again, seeing the growth of the individuals around this table and the growth of myself, and I think that's just what CUNY does. And I think, as Vice Chancellor had mentioned earlier on, we had a call earlier today, that motto at BMCC, where you can start here and just go anywhere. It truly is what I think CUNY represents for me, for my family, and I know the hundreds of thousands that will continue to come to this university and just do great, great things. Thank you.
It seemed so appropriate to have him join us today. He was one of the speakers for the law school graduation. So thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
And he stole my next line, which is the tagline for BMCC, and it's perfect for today. Start here, go anywhere. And that is evident in the students that we'll hear from next. There were to be 3, but one has started somewhere and can't get here because of the train situation. So we'll hear from her at one of our committee meetings, I'm sure. But I want to present now Hafiz Tariq from Queensborough Community College, and he is their valedictorian this year. And he will be followed by Mustafa Donmez, a BMCC scholar in robotics.
Good evening, everyone. So first, I want to thank President Dr. Christine Mangino, who's here from Queensborough Community College. I want to thank Vice President Dr. Brian Mitra from Queensborough Community College. I want to thank Dr. Ian James and Vice Chancellor Maybank for giving me an opportunity to speak in front of you all. I also want to thank CUNY Board of Trustees and Ms. Chair from USS Salimatu Domoya for being here today. My name is Hafiz Tariq, and I'm a Queensborough Community College student. I serve in the Student Government Association as the Pardon Students Vice President. I also sit in the University Student Senate as a QCC delegate. And I'm happy to say that I'm a prospective graduate and a valedictorian at Queensborough Community College. I want to start my speech with a quote that helped me in my journey. Was from Napoleon Hill. The starting point of all achievements is desire. So it was December 25, 2017 when I came to the United States. And life changed from a full-time student to someone who have to work 2 full-time jobs, 16 hours a day to support his family. And then after, I applied for college degree after 3 years of hard work. And when I applied, I have to take an assessment exam, and I failed. I got 32 marks out of 100. So I have to start from very start, which is the CUNY Start. This program is a pre-college program that helps students to improve and excel in their future college journey. So from CUNY Start, I learned about different programs at Queensborough Community College. I become part of CSTAP program, ASAP program, RIMS program, National Science Foundation program, and many other programs, including Black Male Initiative and etc. There, I have learned about that we have a lot of resources here. And it was very new for me because as an immigrant, I never saw all of these resources back in my country. QCC helped me to excel beyond academics. It helps me to start research. So my first research experience was with a program that has a bridge program with NYU. It was a bridge program that selected 10 QCC students to have research experience at NYU and having a mentorship from MD PhD students for 1 year. I became part, after that, it's not stopped. I have become part of another program at Queensborough Community College, and I started research at City College under the mentorship of a graduate from Harvard. It meant a lot to me because before coming to QCC, I have no research experience, no lab experience. I never see the lab before, and I never went to like any science classes. And then currently, I am happy to say that I got a Best Research Award last week at Queensborough Community College. My current research is a collaborative project between 2 departments, Department of Chemistry and Biology, in which we synthesize a compound in one lab and test its effects in lung cancer cells in biology lab. And you can see that how the collaboration makes students better researcher at large. I also wanted to say that beyond academics, when I stood up to be advocate for students, I have an overwhelming support from administration from my school. When I talked to our president about lack of student resources, like centralized student resources, and I talked about we can have an introductory courses and centralized resources in those courses, she invited me to the college strategic committee, where we discussed about the future plans of college. And there we have, I was able to meet a lot of people, where I share like what we can have for better our community college students. And that helped me to do more. Then I started advocating for new events that never happened before at Queensborough Community College. I'm happy to say that I was able to have first holy event and interfaith discussion events at Queensborough Community College with the help and support of administration and the faculty. And my journey at QCC starts from failing an assessment exam to where I am today. Is a reflection of the help that we have received from all different sources at our campus. And every QCC student is entitled to get all these helps. No matter you fail an exam with 32 marks, but you can become a valedictorian. Lastly, I want to thank the Board of Trustees, administration, and their continuing support for Queensborough Community College, especially our Vice Chancellor that I will always see in the videos. I saw you first time. Your support for all these programs is what is changing lives in real times and making CUNY students leaders for tomorrow. I wanted to start a non-profit organization for third world countries that will have provide emergency medical response. And I'm determined to become a medical doctor who will treat the patients and also do conduct research. And I hope your support will continue to have more student leaders tomorrow. Thank you all for your time and listening to my words.
Hi everyone, my name is Mustafa Gomez.
Oh, you're going to use the computer?
No, it's
Oh.
okay. My name is Mustafa Gomez. I'm from BMCC. This is my second year in BMCC, and I wasn't expecting to be here, honestly. I would really thank Dr. Anthony Monroe for giving me this opportunity, and also the faculty who helped me through my journey. And I would really thank you all for this opportunity to talk here and talk about my experience. I first came to the US in 2020, just before COVID hits, and I tried to go to Queens College, but things started going bad. But yeah, they offered me to go to CUNY, and I thought that was very helpful to start from CUNY and start from there, and maybe go then to Queens College and reach my future there. Just about my research. My research is about helping children with ASD and offering a solution with robotics. Because many children with ASD struggle with daily activity of living, we're offering the robot to help them be able to interact with the robot, to help them manage those anxieties and things like that, because many of them don't have an access to caregivers. And yeah, that's it. In the future, we hope to use AI applications for this application to improve our program, and that's it. Thank you.
Extra humble because their research has allowed them to proceed to a competition where they will present that research. I wanted him to bring the robot and let it walk down the table. We thought that would be a little too dramatic. It's hard to get here. But nevertheless, there is real life-changing, world-changing opportunities happening at our community colleges. And it is making a difference in the lives of New Yorkers across the city, across the state, and it's making a difference in the world. We're solving big problems, not just the small things that might happen in the course of a day, but things that will ultimately change the world. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." And community college education is a great way to start and to then go anywhere. So thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you, and let me thank our students for making us even prouder. So thank you for being here today. Let me now turn to the Chancellor for his report.
Thank you, Chair Thompson, trustees, presidents, vice chancellors, valedictorians, and all those who are here today in attendance. Happy to be with you today as we start to wrap up another productive academic year. I recently celebrated my 4th anniversary as chancellor, and I've been reflecting on all that has happened at CUNY and in the world since I took office back in May of 2019. I am most proud of our work during the pandemic, helping students academically, emotionally, and financially, while also continuing to build CUNY into an equity-driven university. I'm proud of our successful push to end outdated traditional remediation instruction, our multi-pronged effort to transform career outcomes for our graduates and the engagement with industry, our expansion of online education, and our initiatives to increase enrollment and work with the New York City Public Schools to create a seamless transition from high school to college. I'm also grateful that last week marked the end of the federal COVID-19 public health emergency declaration. We have lifted our own vaccine mandate, a milestone that seemed unfathomable even a year ago. But now it's time to focus on the future, and I have many exciting updates to share with you. Let's start with the resources to carry out our mission. Governor Hochul and state lawmakers signed a state budget for fiscal 2024 that allows us to build on programs that boost academic success, expand career opportunities for students, and improve infrastructure for all of our campuses. The university received $132.8 million in new operating money, including $50 million one-time transformational initiatives at senior and community colleges. The state budget also includes more than $1 billion for infrastructure, which will help us expand, improve, and maintain our 25 campuses. I already shared a memo with the board with the details regarding the budget. These investments and others signal our state leaders' faith in CUNY's ability to transform our city and state through public higher education. We again thank Governor Hochul for her thoughtful leadership, as well as our state legislative leaders for their support. We also remain engaged in the city's budgetary process. Last week, I testified at the City Council's Joint Finance and Higher Education Committee hearing. There, I share my appreciation for Mayor Adams' executive budget proposal baselines of $4.8 million for the CUNY Inclusive Economy Initiative, which aims to connect 100% of CUNY graduates to careers and advanced degrees by the end of the decade, and includes $5.8 million support for the CUNY Reconnect program. I also share my concern about the impact on the city's PEG on our community colleges. Tomorrow, I will be visiting Ostos Community College with City Council Speaker Adrian Adams to celebrate the success of Reconnect, our initiative to re-engage thousands of New Yorkers who began college but stopped out before they completed a degree. Almost 7,000 students have signed up to date, greatly exceeding our initial goal of 10,000 students. I am also thrilled to announce that since I started as chancellor in May of 2019, we have completed 130 infrastructure projects. This represents a $985 million investment in universities' infrastructure throughout 21 colleges. An additional 74 projects are in the planning stages, including a $7.3 million track renovation at the College of Staten Island, which I was pleased to tour last month. This week, for example, I'll be attending the ribbon cutting for Bronx Community College's Gould Memorial Library, which recently concluded a beautiful $14 million renovation that included $6.9 million Resolution A funding from the City Council and Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson, and a $6.9 million state match. I want to thank our Executive Vice Chancellor and COO, Hector Batista, and Vice Chancellor Mohamed Atala for helping leverage our resources to get this work done efficiently. As you know, I never get tired of talking up our efforts to ensure the career success of our graduates. This includes a wide array of new opportunities for students to participate in paid internships and apprenticeships. Last month, we celebrated our internship program partnership with the MTA, which, like CUNY, is part of the lifeblood of New York City. This program connects CUNY students with paid internships across all MTA agencies. In its first year, it generated more than 16,000 applications for just 150 slots. We are proud of this collaboration between the country's largest transportation network and the country's largest public urban university. Governor Hochul also recently announced a $2 million state investment to add 12 apprenticeship programs at CUNY for our Associate of Applied Sciences degrees starting in the fall of 2023 semester, a welcome expansion that focuses on in-demand industries. I also enjoy visiting the Mount Sinai Hospital, where CUNY students are finishing their spring forward internships in the radiology department. When I make the case to New York leaders to invest in CUNY, these are the kinds of invaluable partnerships that I'm talking about. I also want to say a special thank you to our Associate Provost Lauren Anderson and her team who have made all this work possible. And finally, this month, LaGuardia President Ken Adams and I visited a Queens company called Voice Technologies, which designs and manufactures equipment for the mass transit system. The company provides CUNY students with internships each semester, and about 20% of all their employees are CUNY graduates. And we met with the president, Charles Voice, to talk about ways we could continue to build on our partnership in their company in Long Island City. Looking to the months ahead, We are encouraged by preliminary enrollment data for summer and fall. I want to acknowledge the great efforts of all our campus staff who are working diligently every day to help bring more students into the CUNY family. More than 80% of our freshmen come from the New York City public schools, and I recently announced with Chancellor David Banks plans to make it easier for New York City public high school seniors to come to CUNY next year. Starting this fall, some 65,000 seniors who are on the pace to graduate will get a personalized welcome letter that will lay out their CUNY options, help them calculate the cost of attending, and give them a QR code that takes them straight to our application. This kind of outreach will go a long way, particularly for students who are the first in their families to attend college. May is Jewish American Heritage Month, and we're building on all the work we've been doing to combat anti-Semitism in a few transformative ways. Last week, we hosted an event at Queens College to announce CUNY's participation in a national campaign by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, which is aimed at raising awareness of anti-Semitism by displaying blue squares and posting the blue square emoji. I'm proud to be wearing my blue square here, right below my CUNY logo. We wear the blue squares as allies to help foster an atmosphere in which Jewish students, faculty, and staff can also express who they are without fear. At Queens College, I also announced the formation of a new advisory council on Jewish life. The council will include Jewish leaders in New York who would advise us on ways to live up Jewish life and foster better communications between all religions on our campuses. May is also Asian American and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, and our campuses have been having celebrations that honor the diverse traditions, cultures, and contributions of the AAPI community. This includes a day-long symposium hosted by the Asian American Asian Research Institute at BMCC to build community, share important work related to activism and research, and collectively envision the future of Asian American studies at CUNY. In related news, last month I attended a White House Initiative Economic Summit that was hosted by the Graduate Center. The event was designed to connect Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander businesses and community leaders with resources to advance economic equity. I want to shout out Trustee Kevin Kim, who was appointed by President Biden to serve on his Advisory Commission on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, and who spoke at the event on behalf of Mayor Adams. This dedication to closing the opportunity gaps mirrors the work we do here at CUNY, where Asian American and Pacific Islanders account for nearly a quarter of our enrolled students. Speaking of our students, alumni, and faculty have been collecting awards at what seems to be a record pace, and here are just a few highlights. Last month, Jermaine Anthony Richards, a York College alumnus, was awarded a 2023 Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowship for New Americans. In late March, Siddiq Fofana, a City College alumnus, adjunct faculty member and author of the acclaimed debut Stories from the Tenants Downstairs, won a Whiting Award for Emerging Writers. 3 faculty members and 3 alumni won Guggenheim Fellowships for their exceptional contributions to the arts and the humanities. And Crain's Magazine recently named Dolly Martinez, our Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief of Staff, as a 2023 Women of Influence and recognized her tremendous dedication as a mentor to others. Congratulations to all these winners. And now, to conclude with my speed round, in early May, I had the honor of speaking at the first CUNY Hispanic Service Institutions Conference, which brought together faculty, students, and staff from all 16 CUNY colleges that are HSIs, plus the 3 that are emerging HSIs. The conference was sponsored and funded by the National Science Foundation. In April, the CUNY Graduate Center announced the selection of 65 Black Race and Ethnic Studies Fellows, also known as our BRESI Fellows. We are grateful for the generous support from the Mellon Foundation for this historic initiative. I also wanted to extend congratulations to the Faculty Fellowship Publication Program, or FFPP, which celebrated its 25th anniversary a few weeks ago. We are also delighted to be one of the 21 founding member institutions in Micron's newly formed Northeast University Semiconductor Network, which is designed to create a more diverse STEM workforce. Last month, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences elected leaders who share an interest in advancing the common good. Let me congratulate several members of the CUNY family who join as new members: distinguished Professor Virginia Valiant and Professor Linda Martin Alcoff, both of whom teach at Hunter College and the CUNY Graduate Center; CUNY Graduate Center Professor Emerita Ofelia Garcia, and Hunter College High School alumnus Lin-Manuel Miranda. We are thrilled, but not surprised, to see most of our four-year schools at the top of the list of the New York Times new interactive tool, which is designed to help a student choose a college based on criteria of their own choosing. Baruch, City College, Hunter, John Jay, Brooklyn College, and Queens College all rose to the top when the combination of academics, affordability, diversity, and economic mobility were selected. Along those lines, I leave you with a quote from an op-ed in the Daily News that cited the New York Times tool and praised our great strength. The editors wrote, and I quote, "This certainly isn't the first analysis to determine that CUNY schools are overperforming when it comes to some of the metrics that really count for the students and graduates. Policymakers should keep this in mind as they ponder the system's budget. Every dollar in is a dollar that is magnified and keeps New York City's economy humming along." End of quote. I couldn't think of a more fitting way to conclude. Good luck to all our students as they prepare for final exams, which began this week. And early congratulations to the 50,000 graduates across all our schools who will be celebrating their many milestone achievements in the weeks to come and making preparations for the next exciting chapter in their lives. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that concludes my remarks. I'll see you again in a month.
Thank you, Chancellor. Let's now turn to items that are requiring a vote today. Item number 1, draft minutes of the regular board meeting and executive session of March 27th, 2023. I'd like to move item number 1. May I have a second? Any discussion on the minutes? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Item number 2 is a resolution to rescind the mandate for COVID-19 vaccinations for all faculty, instructional staff, students, and individuals subject to the executive compensation plan of the City University of New York. I'd like to move item number 2. May I have a second? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any discussion on this item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Let me now call on Committee on Audit and Compliance Chair Kevin Kim to present and move the following items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Board Committee on Audit and Compliance considered the following matter at its meeting on April 24, 2023, which I will now present to the Board. Item 3A is a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2023 external audit plan. The university is requesting that the Board of Trustees approve the fiscal 2023 external audit plan based on the recommendation from the Audit and Compliance Committee. The plan was developed by our external auditors, Grant Thornton LLP, and includes the scope, approach, and timing of their fiscal year 2023 financial statement and federal audits. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3A for the Board's consideration.
All right, I'd like to move item 3A. May I have a second for this item? Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Item number 4, let me call on Committee on Finance and Administration Chair Fernando Ferrer to present and move the following items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee on Finance and Administration considered the following matters at its meeting on April 24, which I'll now present to the Board. Item 4A is a resolution to authorize a contract with Precision Task Group Incorporated to provide human capital management and finance management components, software, solution, and integration services. The university has initiated a large-scale modernization effort to replace the human capital management and finance components of CUNY First with a cloud-based software as a service enterprise resource planning system to succeed those components of CUNY First. On June 8th, 2022, the university issued an RFP to procure an HCM and financial management SaaS ERP system. 3 vendors submitted responsive proposals. The RFP committee selected the proposals submitted by PTG, which received the highest combined score in the evaluation. PTG, in partnership with Deloitte and Workday, will provide the university with the Workday suite of applications, which includes human capital management and financial management. The university is seeking approval from the board to authorize a contract with PTG for 5 years with a right to renew for an additional 5-year term at its sole discretion. Combined total authorization for expenditures under this resolution will not exceed, over the 10-year period, $123,957,720 of capital and operating funds. Mr. Chairman, accordingly, I move approval of item 4A.
The item has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4B is a resolution to authorize contracts with 4 executive search and recruitment firms, Academic Search, Isaacson Miller, RPA, and Ritt Keefer, to provide executive search services for the university. The university issued a request for proposals on July 8th to procure the services and award up to 4 contracts with a 5-year term for any contract awarded pursuant to the RFP. The university is seeking approval from the board to authorize contracts with Academic Search, Isaacson Miller, RPA, and Ritt Keefer in the combined amount not to exceed $6 million over a period of 5 years. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4B.
Item 4B has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on the item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4C is a resolution to authorize the extension of the contract with EAB Global for the Navigate Enterprise Student Success Software System. University seeks to continue to expand use of the Navigate system, including community colleges, 6 of which are currently using EAB's Starfish platform to establish a standardized system across 20 of CUNY's 25 colleges. The university's 5-year contract with EAB for the Navigate system and related consultant services at 13 campuses is due to expire on November 5, 2023. Accordingly, it's seeking approval from the Board of Trustees to authorize a 3-year extension of the Navigate contract with EAB for the Navigate system with 2 1-year optional renewals to be exercised at the sole discretion of the university for the period from November 6, 2023 through November 5, 2028 for $14,959,735. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4C.
May I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4C has been approved.
Item 4D is a resolution to authorize a contract with Metro Elevator to provide elevator maintenance services to Brooklyn College. The college conducted a service-disabled veterans owned business set-aside invitation for bid solicitation process pursuant to law and university regulations to obtain bid submissions from vendors to provide full elevator maintenance services on its 37 elevators, and published the solicitation and issued the invitation to bid to 6 SDVOB vendors. The college received 4 bid submissions, and Metro Elevator was deemed responsive and responsible, offering a bid price that is fair and reasonable and within 15% of a non-SDVOB vendor who offered the lowest bid price. The university is seeking approval from the board to authorize a 5-year contract with Metro Elevator in an amount not to exceed $7,700,000 to provide elevator maintenance services to Brooklyn College. Mr. Chairman, accordingly, I move approval of item 4D.
All right, item 4D has been moved. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion on this item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4D has been approved.
Item 4E is a resolution to authorize extension of existing management agreement with Capstone On-Campus Management LLC for management services at the Queens College Q Student Residences LLC project, student housing facility referred to as Queens College Summit Student Housing Building, and to authorize extension of an existing management agreement with Capstone On-Campus Management LLC for management services and educational housing services for its participation in the project at City College Student Housing Facility referred to as the Towers at CCNY. The management agreements are both currently set to expire June 30th of this year. The university is issuing a request for proposals for a manager or managers of the 2 student housing facilities, and in order to complete and assess the results of this RFP, the university seeks to extend both the existing management agreements for up to 1 year. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4E.
Item 4E has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4E has been approved.
Item 4F is a resolution to approve the Personnel Matters Report of the Finance Administration Committee. The report is generated from employee data entered into the university system of record between February 7, 2023 and March 24, 2023. The report contains a total of 30 ECP actions, including 14 interim appointments, 8 regular appointments, 7 employee actions, and 1 separation. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4F.
Item 4F has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on this item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4F has been approved.
Item 4G is a resolution to appoint Wendy Steinberg as Vice President for Communications, Marketing, and Public Affairs at Baruch College. Ms. Steinberg has over 20 years of experience as a teacher of communications, marketing, and public affairs at top-tier communications agencies. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4G.
Item 4G has been moved. Do I have a second? Thank you, Angela. Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4G has been approved.
Item 4H is a resolution to appoint Scott Gerba as Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at the City College of New York. Scott Gerber is previously Senior Vice President of Strategy and Process Innovation, Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and has 32 years of experience as Finance and Operations Senior Leader. He has held several senior leadership positions at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, such as Senior Vice President of Financial Operations, Senior Vice President, and CFO, Head of Transportation, etc. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4H.
Item 4H has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4H has been approved.
Item 4I is a resolution to appoint Benjamin E. Roden as Vice President of Enrollment Management at LaGuardia Community College. Mr. Roden served as interim Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Success at New Jersey City University since October 2020, and prior to that served as the Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Success from 2015 until 2020. He's also served in a variety of senior positions at Rutgers University. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4I.
Item 4I has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Item 4I has been approved.
Item 4J is a resolution to appoint Elitrulis Reese as Vice President of Information Technology at Lehman College. Ms. Reese has served as interim Vice President for IT at Lehman College since September 2022, and previously had a successful 7-year tenure as Lehman's Assistant Vice President for Information Technology, and previously served a variety of positions within the university. Accordingly, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, about two.
Whoever I am, whoever you are, okay.
You know who you are.
Exactly.
I move approval of item 4J.
Item 4J has been moved. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion on this item? I hope not. All right, we'll now vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item 4K is a resolution to appoint Peter Latanzio as Assistant Vice Chancellor and Deputy General Counsel. Peter Latanzio has most recently served as Deputy General Counsel and Unit Chief Commercial Litigation at the MTA, and before that served as Associate General Counsel and Head of Litigation in New York City Council. Mr. Latanzio served for several years in private practice at a variety of prestigious law firms. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4K.
Item 4K has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. By the way, I believe he is with us. At least stand up for a second.
Where is he?
Welcome aboard.
He won't be able to remain as low-key in the future.
Exactly. I wanted him to stand so everybody could see him.
Enjoy the moment. Item 4L is a resolution to authorize a waiver of application fees for New York City public school students. The university has implemented a pilot program whereby graduates of the New York City public schools who apply to the university between March 1 of this year and April 30 of this year had their application fee of $65 automatically waived. Though through this initiative, the university intends to expand access, attract students who have not yet applied to the university, and increase the university's enrollment. The university requests the board authorize the waiver of application fees for those New York City public school graduating seniors who applied to the university between March 1 and April 30 of this year. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 4L.
Item 4L has been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? And I'm going to ask one quick question, Chancellor, you or your team. How many fees have been, or for how many individuals have the fees been waived? Approximately.
Let me just go to Renee for the precise numbers.
1,960 students.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
1,960 students got the fee waiver of a little over 127,000. At the same time last year, we granted over 2,000. So what does that mean? It means that we got that we got more applications during that period of time last year, and so we had less to waive during the pilot phase.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Any other discussion on this item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you so much. Item number 5, let me call on Committee on Education Policy Jill O'Donnell Tormey to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Education Policy considered the following matters at its meeting on April 24th, 2023, which I will now present to the Board. Item 5A1 is a resolution to establish a program in urban studies and the built environment, leading to the Bachelor of Arts degree at the Bernard and Ann Spitzer School of Architecture at the City College of New York. This program will help cultivate students who are driven by a commitment to social justice and to learning through service to the community. The intent of the program aligns with the university's commitment to career pathways and community impact. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5A1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5A1 has been approved.
Item 5A2 is a resolution to establish a program in accounting leading to the Associate of Science degree at Gutman Community College. The proposed program will serve students who have a clear and specific goal of entering the accounting profession, providing the necessary foundation and training to be successful in baccalaureate programs and in such positions upon graduation. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5A2 for the board's consideration.
I'd like to move item 5A2. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item 5A3 is a resolution to establish a program in Health Services Administration leading to the Master of Science degree at Lehman College. The proposed program will serve the university's mission to prepare its diverse population of students for the future of work in a wide variety of possible professions where health services administration skills are increasingly in demand. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5A3 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item. Any discussion? We'll now vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item 5A4 is a resolution to establish a program in computer science leading to the Associate of Science degree at Queensborough Community College. The proposed program will serve students with interest in computer science by educating them on options, teaching them relevant skills, and offering them the opportunity to join a growing workforce. As a result, more students will be retained, graduate, and transfer to senior college programs. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5A4 for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item 5B1 is a resolution to establish the Department of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Baruch College. Given the growth of the major revised curriculum and strategic cluster hiring, the maintenance of the entrepreneurship and innovation curriculum within a Department of Management is no longer suitable. The proposed department will address these issues while also aligning with the university's mission of being responsive to the needs of its urban community and preparing its students for the evolving requirements of the workforce. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5B1 for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? We'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item has been approved.
Item 5B2 is a resolution to abolish the Department of Communication and Theater Arts at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Demand for courses in this department has been low since at least 2014, and it is projected to decline even further, such that continuation of the department is an unsound investment of resources. The learning outcomes of courses offered by the department are embedded throughout the curriculum at the college, and therefore student education will not be compromised. Courses belonging to full-time faculty will be transferred to their new department and be offered or adapted. Remaining courses will be discontinued. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5B2 for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions?
I abstain.
And with one abstention. Any others? All right, that item's been approved with one abstention.
Item 5C1 is a resolution to amend the Bronx Community College governance plan. These amendments will provide more efficiency, transparency, and oversight in college operations and governance. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5C1 for consideration.
Do I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5C1 has been approved.
Item 5C2 is a resolution to amend the Brooklyn College governance plan. The proposed amendments to the Brooklyn College governance plan are designed to clarify the eligibility of interdisciplinary programs to participate in faculty council and to memorialize the role of student government liaisons as attendees at faculty council meetings. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5C2 for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now move to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5C2 has been approved.
Item 5C3 is a resolution to amend the John Jay College governance plan. John Jay recently reviewed its charter alongside other binding documents, such as collective bargaining agreements and the bylaws of the Board of Trustees, and wishes to make some minor procedural clarifications to make its charter consistent with other documents and longstanding college practices. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5C3 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for that item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5C3 has been approved.
Item 5D1 is a resolution to award Professor Derek Adams with early tenure at Brooklyn College with an application of bylaw 6.2C2. Professor Adams is a celebrated artist in his field and has produced work of the highest caliber while empowering the lives of underrepresented creatives in the spirit of and in the service to the university's mission. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5D1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5D1 has been approved.
Item 5D2 is a resolution to award Zhu Zhao with early tenure at York College with an application of bylaw 6.2C2. Her contributions to academia and beyond are demonstrated by her collaboration with researchers, industry leaders, regulatory agencies, hospitals, and service to the chemistry department. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5D2 for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for this item? Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5D2 has been approved.
Items 5E1 through 5E17 are resolutions to award honorary degrees. In presenting these nominations, the colleges seek to honor individuals who, through their work, their research, their art, or their activism, have meaningfully contributed to building a better and more just society, and thus reflecting the mission of our university. The recipients include Baruch College, Sam Pollard and Hamdi Ulakaya; Brooklyn College, Tanya Leon; the City College of New York, Joseph Fleischer and Brian Stevenson; Hostos Community College, Bill Aguiado; Hunter College, Dodie Arnold and Carolyn Maloney; John Jay College, Mariska Hargitay and Eric Holder; Lehman College, Andre Harrell, Jose Rivera, and Joseph Sadler; Medgar Evers College, Eric Edwards; School of Labor and Urban Studies, Lynn Nordich and Steve Phillips; Graduate School of Public Health, Pete Hotes. Mr. Chairman, I present items 5E1 through 5E17 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for these items?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? Items. All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Those items are approved.
Items 5F1 through 5F6 are resolutions to appoint distinguished professors. In presenting these nominees, the colleges seek to recognize the exceptional scholarly achievements of the following faculty members. From Brooklyn College, Patricia Cronin. From City College, Benjamin Steinberg and Maria Tamargo. From Hunter College, Cynthia Hahn. From Queens College, Amiel Alcalay and Talia Schaefer. Mr. Chairman, I present items 5F1 through 5F6 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for these items? Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Items 5F1 through 5F6 have been approved.
Item 5G is a resolution requesting the approval of the Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee. The May Faculty Personnel Matters Report was generated in summary format from faculty data entered by the campuses into CUNY First, the university system of record, between February 6th and March 26th, 2023. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5G for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5G has been approved.
Items 5H is a resolution requesting approval of the actions in the Curriculum and Academic Policy Dashboard. Routine academic matters, local academic policies, and course inclusions in the university's general education program are presented to the Committee on Education Policy in summary form. The dashboard makes it possible for trustees to interact with this summary data. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5H for the board's consideration.
Do I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustees. We'll call on Committee on Advancement and External Affairs Chair Lorraine Cortez Vasquez to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee for Advancement and External Affairs considered the following matters at its meeting on April 24th, and I now present 5 items to the Board for consideration. Item 6A is a resolution requesting the naming of the Solomon Blum Professor of Ancient Study at Hunter College. Dr. Blum was a professor at Hunter College's School of Education for 30 years, and his granddaughter Louise Steinman, together with her husband Arthur Steinman, contributed $2 million to the Hunter College Foundation to support this professorship. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 6A.
Do I have a second for this item? Thank you, Angela. Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 6B is a resolution requesting the naming of the Isabel Corey, class of 48, endowed scholarship at Hunter College. The Isabel F. Corey Trust contributed $400,000 to the Hunter College Foundation to establish this endowed scholarship fund, which will provide a minimum of $5,000 per recipient. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 6B.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 6B has been approved.
Item 6C is a resolution requesting the naming of the Clara and Larry A. Silverstein Chair of Jewish Studies and Director of the Jewish Studies Program and Center at Hunter College. Clara Silverstein, and her husband Larry A. Silverstein contributed $2 million to the Hunter College Foundation to support this chair. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 6C for the board's consideration.
May I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion on the item? We'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 6C has been approved.
Item 6D is a resolution requesting the naming of the Ruth Stanton Chair of Art and History, Chair of Art and Art History at Hunter College. The Ruth Stanton Foundation will contribute $2,050,000 to the Hunter Foundation to support this chair. Mr. Chairman, I move the approval of item 6D for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item 6E is a resolution requesting the naming of the Coco de Felipe's Family Foundation Endowment at Eugenio Maria de Hostos Community College. The gift of $50,000 is generously given by the Ostos president and her family and friends. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 6E.
Do I have a second for that item?
Proud to second.
All right. Any discussion on the item? We'll now vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, I want to just acknowledge the kind of foundation support that the Hunter College has really contributed this year. It has been a banner year.
Really
So I
has.
want to acknowledge that for the record. And with that, Mr. Chairman, it concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, trustee. We're going to move, let me now call on Committee for Facilities Planning and Management Chair Brian Oberfeld to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Facilities Planning and Management considered the following matters at its meeting on April 24th, 2023, which I will now present to the Board. Item 7A is a resolution to authorize a lease amendment with APF 28W44 owner LP as landlord at 28 West 44th Street, New York, New York, to expand the lease premises for the CUNY School of Labor and Urban Studies. The School of Labor, which was established in 2018, is an outgrowth of the Joseph S. Murphy Institute for Worker Education and Labor Studies. It has had significant growth in enrollment in recent years and has obtained additional space in previous lease amendments. The school has identified an additional 1,786 rentable square feet of retail space in their building for exhibition and programmatic uses. As outlined in the resolution, the amendment includes several measures to keep rent at the current rates through the end of the lease. This amendment would also allow the university to add the new retail space and extend the existing lease with a shorter commitment and at lower rents during the period from 2027 to 2034. Mr. Chairman, I present item 7A for the board's consideration.
Do we have a second for this item? Second. Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now vote. All those in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Okay, item 7B is a resolution to authorize construction for the renovation of the third floor at 500 Grand Concourse at Hostos Community College. This project includes the renovation of the third floor to provide active learning and traditional lecture spaces, new departmental offices for the behavioral and social sciences, and faculty offices, along with new electrical, mechanical, plumbing, telecom, fire protection, and life safety systems. The project will address several deferred maintenance issues and will bring 17,000 square feet of space into a state of good repair. Construction, managed by DASNY, is anticipated to commence in June 2023 and be substantially completed by August 2024. The program management agreement requires DASNY to comply with and report on the application of MWBE and SDVOB goals. The board requests CUCF to provide capital funding in an amount up to $14,790,000. Mr. Chairman, I present item 7B for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Let me now call on Committee on Student Life Vice Chair Ken Sunshine to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Student Life considered the following matter at its meeting on April 24th, 2023, which I now present to the Board. Item 8A is a resolution to approve the 2023 Jonas E. Salk scholarships. In 1955, the Board of Estimates, City of New York, created the Jonas Salk scholarships to honor the City College graduate who developed the first anti-polio vaccine, back when it wasn't controversial. My comment.
You couldn't help it. You couldn't help it, could you?
The scholarships are awarded to students who have been accepted to a U.S. medical school or graduate school in pursuit of the MD or DO, as well as PhD or DSc in biological sciences, and have performed scientific research as an undergraduate. This year's recipients include Eli Burgess, Queens College, Amanda Brand, Macaulay Honors College at Queens College. I am Janani, Brooklyn College. Adriana Kaganoski at Hunter College. Abiha Kazmi, Brooklyn College. Kevin Kemmelmacher, Macaulay College. Pamela Lee Ben Grubb at Hunter College. And Tammy Yang, Hunter College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 8A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
One thing I'd like to make clear before we adjourn, it is the work that all of you do, that all of you, my colleagues, do in committee that makes this meeting move so smoothly. So let me thank you all. This is one institution that has a great working committee structure. So I'd like to thank all of you for the work that's done in committee that allows us to move so smoothly through the board meeting. With that, with there being no further business, I ask for a motion to adjourn, or at least I'll make a motion. Seconded?
Yes.
All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you all.